I'm Kathryn Sheridan from Sustainability Consults, and I'm joined today by Matt Lipscomb, CEO and founder of DMC Biotechnologies. And ahead of ME15, we wanted to talk about where the biotech industry is today, and especially around challenges and opportunities. Welcome, Matt.
Hi, Catherine.
So, biotechnology for the pharmaceutical industry has enjoyed incredible success, especially lately, as we saw with the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And you've said that biotechnology has similar enormous potential to favorably impact other industries as well. So, what do you think is holding the industry back?
That's a great question. So, as we look at the challenges in the field, there are several historical barriers. So, first and foremost, it's the time and the cost to get to commercial scale. So, Lux Research published a study in 2015 where they reviewed the prior 15 years of examples, and their estimate was that on average, it has taken more than 7 years and more than $75 million per product to get from concept to commercial scale. The root cause, if you take a next level deeper on that, has been fundamentally the processes were artisanal in nature. They weren't standardized, they weren't able to be reused or repurposed, they lacked robustness or the ability to withstand true industrial conditions. And there were real challenges around predictability. So getting results at one scale to reproduce at the next larger scale. And the net result of all that has been that while there are definitely some very good successes in industrial biotech for the use to make chemicals, there just simply haven't been enough. And there's been some pretty large failures, to be quite honest. So we as a field, as an industry, need to get some more wins to really demonstrate the power and the potential of the technology.
How is DMC different?
So we've addressed those historical barriers by developing a technology platform that really is made to scale. So we've addressed this notion of standardization, where we have a single fermentation process that's independent of product or scale. So we've eliminated that artisanal nature of historical fermentation. We've done this in the context of creating bioprocesses that can withstand a much broader set of conditions that will be encountered inevitably at full commercial scale. So we refer to this as robustness. And most importantly, we're the first in the field to demonstrate predictability from high throughput all the way to full commercial scale, eliminating all the time and effort and money that's been historically required for process development in each one of those. And all of those things at the end of the day, result in basically much more efficient both time and cost in getting products from concept to commercial. And we've now demonstrated that, for multiple products up to pilot scale and our lead product all the way to full commercial scale.
And recent events probably have not made it easier for you.
No, that's certainly true. So when I'm asked, what are the challenges that I anticipated from starting a company, things like a global pandemic or a bank run were not some of the challenges that I had anticipated at the time. But
Yeah.
yet they're very real conditions that all of us in industry and the world are dealing with today.
I mean, these are some of the challenges. So, what do you see as the drivers for growth today?
Yeah, that's a great question. And this is actually a really exciting time to be working in the field. And so unlike 2 decades ago, there's real commitment from customers who are demanding more sustainability, who are demanding decarbonization in the products that they buy. And moving up the supply chain, brands are responding to that. So they're actively deploying capital to improve the sustainability footprint of their products. And that's continued to go up the supply chain. So now the chemical companies that serve those brands are actually responding in a very favorable way, not only by setting audacious goals for net zero by 2030, 2040, 2050, but they're putting real capital to work to get this done. They are daunting and challenging goals, but this is a level of commitment that we haven't seen prior, which is really exciting. I think going hand in hand with that, we're also seeing the regulatory support coming from the US and from Europe as well. So the Inflation Reduction Act in Europe, the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism and the Green New Deal in Europe. These are all great developments from the regulatory front that are supporting this drive and real capital deployment towards net zero.
And when we talk about net zero, by 2030, 2030 is really not very far away, especially when we look at innovation cycles, investment cycles, and so on. So how do you see DMC fitting into this whole picture?
Yeah, so at DMC, we've developed and are now deploying a technology that was made to scale. So by that, I mean, we started with the end in mind and we said, look, what does an industrial biotechnology process need to look like? And we worked backwards from there to say, what are the genetics, the fermentation, what are the tools we need to make this happen? And that's what we've demonstrated. So we've addressed those key barriers around speed, getting to scale, and efficiency and standardization. And we've now proven that we can deliver commercial-ready processes on a timeline and on a cost line that's been, unprecedented in the field.
I'm sure that we can all appreciate how essential speed and scale are for getting bio-based products to market. And it does seem like DMC is really well positioned to make that happen. I also saw that you've been hiring a lot of new people recently.
We have. So the last several quarters have been very exciting in terms of the growth of the company. So we've more than tripled in size in terms of our internal team compared to where we were a little over a year ago. So it's both a very exciting and obviously a very challenging time in terms of bringing lots of new people into the organization.
Yeah, well, I think that's all we have time for today. Thanks a lot, Matt, for taking the time to talk, and best of luck for the coming months.
Thank you, Kathryn.